Fever, away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We got some more Highlander for you today, and we're back into the ETF2L scene. The season hasn't quite started yet. We're still some weeks away from that, but we have a pre-season cup for you. We're going to have 3 rounds of matches on 3 different maps, and there are 4 teams trying to contest for that top spot in the Premiership tier, which we'll be covering today. We have WASP, Open Squad, Lucrosa, and Failer Esports. Today, we're going to start off with Open Squad versus WASP, which should indeed be a pretty juicy affair, if I say so myself. I'm CeeJaey, and joining me today is Wiethoofd on the production in the background, and Domaytoe is going to be the man talking with me. How are you, man?
Good evening. I'm doing well. Yeah, amazing question again. Leaves me a lot of potential to meme. CeeJaey, can you give me like a different approach next time? Just say, I don't know. What team do you think will slay the other or something? So I can already say the one with the more Germans on the roster, I think. And I didn't actually count how many Germans are on the Open Squad roster, but I think we know how many Germans are on the WASP roster. CeeJaey, do we?
I think WASP is very well known for not having Germans on it. Actually, no.
What?
A little bit of factual information. So
Nesh.
WASP, but not just Nesh.
Spoiler.
Nesh and Einar used to both play for WASP, and they both had German flags. I mean, Nesh was, I believe, Ukrainian living in Germany, and so was Einar, Russian living in Germany. So, yeah, I mean, make
both snipers, by the way. Surprise. Yeah. Coincidence, I think.
Yeah, but we do have, some very nationalistic teams, I guess. We have Open Squad, which is mainly German, with a fair few exceptions, I have to say.
We have Germany against Russia.
Germany against Russia, yeah.
I'm just looking a bit at the Nations Cup, and we already know how this went. So maybe a reprise for this game, probably.
It could be. I mean, these are 2 teams that, I mean, the thing about these 2 teams, nationalities aside, is that they weren't alive last season. Season 14 obviously happened, and which team won Season 14? Do you remember, Domaytoe? Could you tell me one last time? Just for old time's sake, please.
Strong opinions, I think.
Yeah, Strong Opinions did win. Yeah, they beat Failer Esports in the final. Super Dickmans finished 3rd, but 2 out of those 3 teams have now folded. Failer Esports have undergone another revolution, I guess. A lot of players disappearing. A lot of them disappearing to one of these teams, Domaytoe. We were talking about earlier. Open Squad, if you can't actually see in game just yet, but Open Squad have picked up Mezzo, Cloudy, Zamperoni, and Poker. He's
4 players.
Aliasing up as Pozka these days. Oh, sorry, and Strono. And Strono 8. So that's 5 players from the Prem runners-up who have joined this reformation of Open Squad. So, yeah, I mean, Germans going back to their German roots, I guess, Domaytoe.
Well, German roots. Oh yeah, like Open Squad was a thing. They actually played before and stuff. I remember. But as you were saying, well, with 5 players then left Failer, there are still 2 more players to leave Failer. So it's not actually like a new revocation or something. It's just like usual Failer. So where did the other 2 players go? Are these in WASP now?
Crayon left the team, and I think he's teamless at the moment. And the other player would have been... who was the soldier? Included middle is currently looking for team. He's not playing for Failer.
Like I always say, no, you're so mean and meme. No, it's not like 7 players plus Joe and Layla, but then 7 players leave, and then they have. But again, we also people, you can just look forward to this, because in the 2nd round, then just spoiling a bit, but we also have probably a little bit of a drama match. But anyway, we're on Borneo here currently on an actual proper payload. I mean, actually every payload map is proper in this Highlander scene, I would say, so far. Except Vigil, maybe. But yeah. Do you actually want a roster rundown? I don't think all the players are on this, but CeeJaey, you run down a roster right now, and this is the one that you're actually sticking with, and that's the one that you think is going to win. Like, you have to split it kind of. Like, the one how do I explain this to a little trader main like yourself? Like there's one team you root for, and the other team that you would put your skins on Saloon.tf on.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I mean, I gotta think. I mean, because like you said, this is Borneo. There's 3 different maps today because this is the purpose of a preseason cup. It's usually to test a different whitelist or different maps or something. We've got Borneo, we've got Warm Tick, and we've got Gravel Pit. All are maps that have been played in the seasons recently. So Borneo was played as recently as season 13. Warm Tick played back in season 9. Season 10 as well, I think, and Gravel Pit was back in season 9 as well. So I guess people are trying them out. So I mean, it depends on the map. I mean, I've got my boys in Open Squad. I got my old teammate, one of my best friends, Cloudy, sniping for Open Squad, and I got that Zamperoni down a fat $25 sub on me. So
you get bribed.
You're
saying this.
Yeah,
and you literally
rigged,
said it
rigged,
out loud. CeeJaey.
Rigged. I mean, yeah. I think both of these teams are so
Wait, how much did he pay?
here.
I just have to wait to root for Clark because maybe he bribed me as well. We
Oh,
don't know.
okay. Oh, behind the scenes, a little backhander. I don't know. I can't call
CeeJaey,
this.
you're asking too much for integrity. Just go. I mean, 9 players will hate you anyway, so probably if you pick a side. So just say it.
I honestly think this is going to be the closest match to call. I honestly do. It's difficult. I think that Open Squad have got some really strong DM, and I think they're going to be slightly edging as the favourites here. But I think WASP have a couple of factors on their side, such as Wiethoofd and Morg, who I think are absolutely huge players and can really change a game. So if Open Squad can keep those 2 quiet, then Open Squad win this. But if they're like, if WASP can unleash Morg and they heal Wiethoofd and Catman just does the Catman thing, WASP can do a lot. It's Borneo, it's sniper friendly. Oh, it's
I'm
tough.
just listening how you literally like tell me for 2 minutes that you won't pick a side. Like you're always dodging the question. Okay, I pick Open Squad. Like that's your fault.
No, I said
no, you go with what?
I said Open Squad would edge it. I said it. I said they would edge it. So you have to go for WASP now.
Okay.
We can talk about the rosters. What roster would you like to talk about, Domaytoe?
I would, about my obvious pick, WASP, I would like to talk about that one. But I actually, I don't... Yeah, I wait until they switch on their classes because I'm not actually this familiar currently. And I would just...
Well, we can start with Open Squad.
Yeah, I can start with Open Squad.
They've got 9 on the server. So this is actually their full roster. As far as I'm aware, this is the roster they plan to play with for the next season. So on Scout, they are going to have, if I can find him, CeeJaey, former Premiership 60 Scout. Played for Open Squad in the past as well. Very strong. On Soldier is Bees. On Pyro is Strono 8, who I believe he was he 3rd in the Pyro of the Season Awards last season? You were there, Domaytoe. You can remember. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Domaytoe agrees. On demo is Murphy, who he's played, I think, a couple of games in Prem. I know he marked for strong opinions back in sort of season 10, 11. On heavy is Poker, who is, of course, heavy of the season most recently for season 14 while he was playing for Fail Esports. On engineer, we have Mason. Mason, who's probably more well known on different classes, has played NG before, has played for some teams, including Fair Enough at LAN, played as an engineer in Deutschland 2016. On medic, we have Zamperoni. Zamperoni has played a couple of different classes, heavy for Open Squad in the past. Last season and the season before, he was engineer for Failure Esports, did finish as a runner-up for engineer of the season in season 14. He's going to be playing medic, though, this time around. We have Cloudy, 3 times Prem winner, runner-up last season with Failure, and of course was sniper of the season in season 9, and runner-up as sniper in the most recent ETF2L season. And finally, we have Mezzo on Spy, who I believe was 2nd or 3rd in Spy of the season. So we have a lot of big names on this Open Squad roster. But you comfortable with talking about the WASP roster now, Domaytoe?
The thing is, like, why you did this, I pulled off the, like, several ETF2L rosters of, like, WASP or something, but they don't have their team roster set up there. I can try, though, from what I remember. Yeah, let's start with the most important class in the game. It is Imba on the Spy class. I go from the top to the bottom, because the next class will be the guy that shoots people around, like in the head, but the thing about this is around the wall, after you walked up behind the wall 5 seconds ago, which is Morg /keystores-store.com. On the medic class, I don't actually know if this counts as sellout, but it doesn't matter. On the medic class, I think we actually have DQZ, who was a soldier main, is probably
I think it might be Enya. I think he's a medic main. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Enya is, but DQZ is currently on the medic class. Like, you know, this is the thing. If they don't actually pick their classes, like, like, either they are not using their nicknames, they have like Kilrillion names, or they are not on their classes, or both. Okay, wait. Other way then. Probably Lightclaw and Scout. DQZ then on Soldier probably. Yeah, see, he's Soldier man, obviously. See, I knew it, said it, told you. Sneaky is not Russian, I would know that. Sneaky on the Pyro class, the Welshman, spy checking there. Then, okay, as we are actually changing servers as I hear, so I have a bit more time. Then something funny, the demo man's name, CeeJaey, how would you pronounce that?
Listen, right, no, I'm not getting into this conversation again. I called him D-Toed and people were like, no, it's pronounced Detoed. I was like, okay, I'll call him Detoed. And people were like, no, it's D-Toed. You know what? I call him D-Toed and he doesn't complain, so I'm rolling with D-Toed.
Do you know that it actually means children eater or something in Russian? Anyway, no, really? D-Toed. Then Catman on the heavy class. Catman is infamous heavy, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know actually who is more infamous, Catman on heavy or Clark an engineer following the NAS, and then probably Enya on the medic class, as we are switching servers, so don't go anywhere. We have Russians playing tonight, which means we are in for a bit of a pre-game. It will take some time. As I already talked with CeeJaey about this, because it's a bit weird why Russians don't start on time. But I mean, the gates are open, but there are only 6 players left in the server from Open Squad, and
it's going to be very difficult for WASP to push without a player on the blue team.
But they just used.
Oh, big play! Big play
them.
from Zamperini. Got forced. Yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit more about the teams. I think with the upcoming ETF2L season, it's on the horizon. We're into week 5 now, I think, of ETF2L 6v6. So as the 6th season draws to a close, the Highlander season starts to get warmed up, and these teams are definitely 2 of the teams who are hoping to play in Prem, with SDCK and with Strong Opinions both leaving for the time being. There is a bit of a power vacuum. Failure Esports, the runners-up, have lost, as we said earlier, 7 out of the 9 players on their roster. So it is pretty much a case of, right, who's going to step up? And there's some big teams we've seen in UGC. There's the team Elephant, which has got familiar names like Viljak, Adiski, Sandburn, etc., who are doing well. And this cup is another opportunity for these teams to kind of showcase their talents and show to the admins, hey, look, you know, we should be in Prem next season. So preseason playoffs should be very interesting. Lacrosa and Failer are probably going to have to enter the preseason playoffs themselves as well. Failer Esports, having changed more than 50% of their roster, have to requalify, I believe, are the rules. And Lucrosa, I think, were bottom 2 last season. So they'll have to requalify as well. No?
No. Third from the bottom.
So because they won the head, there was a bit of confusion, but they won the head-to-head against Envision. So
yeah.
Right, so okay, so Lucrosa are confirmed as long as they don't change too much of their roster. So they'll be playing against Failer in the other match in this first round. But it would be interesting to see who's going to step up and really be the team to beat. And I feel these 2 teams are kind of there, because it's going to be you got a lot of top players here. I think, you know, talking about the players we've seen on Open Squad, to start off with. You know, Cloudy's one prem before. We've got Murphy, who I feel is a bit of a rising star on demo. He always seems to consistently put out the damage numbers. Poker played heavy of the season, reached the final last round, Streno 8 as well. Mezzo as well was considered by many as one of the best spies of last season. So, it's a strong lineup. But at the same time, you've got WASP. There's a lot of experience here. When Morg was playing, he was one of the best. I remember CeeJaey, who was sniper of the season back in, season 7, season 8. And everyone considered CeeJaey to be one of the best snipers in Highlander. Oh. Insaney. Don't know why people didn't call him that. But I remember talking to him, and he was like, I don't care about playing against Romello or Tracker, or any of those guys. But sniper v sniper versus Morg, I hate. Morg was, one of the best. He was an absolutely crazy sniper. Catman, 2 times heavy of the season. There's something about Russians and playing heavy.
So wait, I have to take my contribution, my retribution now. I don't actually know if we have the time. I just wanted to settle into a little Catman story, but how much do we have enough time? Probably.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I did play with Catman back in the preseason players, and arguably we lost against Chess because Catman was playing, and he was basically there for 40% of the game because the rest he was just disconnecting all the time. But when he was there, I still remember the amazing thing when we pushed Badwater last and kind of our medic survived, like Mars, CeeJaey. Do you know how Mars calls?
Yeah, I've played a lot with Mars, yeah.
And just keep that in your mind. And like Mars was on tracks behind and was waiting for people to come to him. And I saw Poker. He was literally he survived the last push on Badwater on tracks. And then I said, okay, go to Mars. Like nobody dies anymore. Just stay there. And then I just hear in broken English, I jump in. And then he jumped into the entire combo and he died. And Mars got headshot.
I mean, I remember people saying about it in 6s, like, they said the greatest weakness of Russian players is their English. I think is something that has been said in 6s about players like Shadowban, Forsaken, and all these legends, about how they would be the strongest players, some of the strongest players, some of the best.
Enya got cut from SDCK because he didn't speak English.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Season 11, SDCK, Enya was, replaced by Sprayer. Sprayer actually is the main medic for WASP, unless that's changed with recent stuff that's going on, which I won't go into, but looks like Enya is playing in the Cup for at least this match. But I think, and people have said that about Poker as well. Amazing heavy, but a lot of the criticism for him came from failure players saying the communication wasn't always there. But when they play within a Russian-speaking team, there isn't that communication issues, and that's when they're strongest. And I think, I remember we talked about the unpoppable WASP merge that happened a few seasons ago, where the likes of Catman and Fuzz joined. You get the best Russian and Ukrainian players on one team. This is a strong team. This is a good team. I mean, okay, so we haven't got Sprayer playing, who's supposedly their main. We haven't got their main Pyro. We got a Welshman on Pyro, which may cause an issue. But hey, I think this is the potential to be a strong team, and we are live here, guys. We have WASP Reform. They are in the blue. They will be attacking, trying to set as fast a time as they can. An open squad, reformed. They are on the red, defending. They'll be trying to beat the time that is set. And we're just kind of... Borneo is one of those maps. We have a suicide wave. You send people in. Morg goes down. He's the first casualty of this game as Mezzo gets a frag, and Cloudy with a snipe onto the Pyro, so he won't be jetpacking or any shenanigans from him. WASP just trying to make their way up here on the far side and maybe trying to make some space for Morg once he respawns.
Lightcloud did clean up the soldier though, best. I mean, Wiethoofd gets killed there by Poker. I mean, this is kind of... I don't like this. Like, you commit to a suicide stuff, as Poker actually gets a headshot by Morg, but I would have liked to have like a clear suicide wave and then you push the card. Like this time it's a bit like 10 to 15 seconds wasted and like people are respawning again. But you see the right flank seen from the defensive side of the viewpoint. Something collateral Cloudy. It's the Cloudy curse again. Like, I can't talk because he just frags all the time and I have to say that, but the right flank is open and we're currently just waiting for an exchange. But CeeJaey, they're not actually getting this much ground here, really. Like, it's taking them.
The problem is Cloudy. He is just... You saw penetration kills. We love a bit of penetration. And as long as he is alive and he's being healed, he can just shoot down, but actually we do see a lot of pressure on the cart right now. Catman deciding he's going to help on the cart, gets taken down some pipes from Murphy, and DQZ goes down as well. Dito there trying to get some spam down, but Strono is just going to reflect those away, and Murphy with another pipe to take down the Demo Man. So a couple of good kills coming in from him there, but we see the cart now is really far up. I think this is far enough now for them to decide to maybe come in with an Uber, and
bested so much there. Bested so much there. Like now, Morg actually gets the headshot onto Murphy. Like, he was in this all the time, Morg, and he actually didn't get pressure. Like, he only got pressured by the soldier. That's what I wanted to say, and therefore he didn't get the frags. But now the frags are actually rolling in here a bit. I mean, they're getting passive, but Russians are still like. You can see them playing around Morg as Morg actually gets aggressive alone now, but the pick classes just clean up the players. Zamperoni didn't use on first, which is a common strategy actually on Borneo sometimes when teams don't actually like feel like they want to defend this, as Imma also gets a frag on best, so they're still a bit in the behind because the people are just respawning right now, and if Russians quickly take tracks here, which is what they're doing, they are looking in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they're taking really far forward here. Catman is first one forward, trying to take control of this second point already. See, Masonet's got a level 2 up, but that's just going to get spit out. Has to wrangle it to keep it alive, but it's not achieving much. It is used though by WASP, and the counter Uber comes in from Open Squad, and wow, they pick up a lot of frags there. Morko's down there in the back lines, and Catman is just getting swamped. Enya though manages to actually get out with his life. So Slippery there managed to escape with Dito, although now they're stuck in drop down, and CeeJaey is going to come in trying to pressure the demo.
What is he doing? Why? No! Why is Enya still in? Go out! What was that?
They went like you can't go up drop down. Like the one thing in TF2 is you can't just float up drop down, as a medic at least. So yeah, that was a questionable decision there from WASP. Maybe they thought they had more support, but yeah.
CeeJaey like looked at Enya and then he was like, nah, that's too easy of a frag, and then he went for the overhealed demo man. I mean, it does stare them out here a bit, and it's maybe not the biggest misconception currently or something, because we I mean, mistake. I was almost saying mistake, but you can't say this these days. It's not the perfect play. But we are actually looking on close Ubers here as WASP is taking so much ground. Poker's so lit, and Murphy also goes down. This is definitely putting them in really good shape, and they get forced here in a really bad position. But Enya still has, and he has the balls of steel. He does not pop, and only 4 people up from Open Squad. This is easy taking off the second point with a full Uber still to play with CeeJaey for the next point.
It was the only non-CIS player on the WASP roster. Sneaky. He just went in there and just caused so much of a distraction. The frags on the combo just came down. He's actually on Dragon's Fury right now, trying to fight against CeeJaey. Is he going to win the fight? No. CeeJaey is going to run away to fight another day, but Lightclaw's on the chase. We'll clean him up. And we really well played there. And the fact that Zamperini went down means Enya has 100% in the bank. He's got Catman for company. He has to use it though. Murphy's going to try to jump out here. And actually they've got high ground, they've got their combo on the high ground, they've got a level 2 sentry, wrangled up Murphy there with 2 kills onto DQZ and Morg, so the pressure from the opposite side is just not going to come in, and Catman probably going to get caught out here. He does by Strono. So 4 minutes and 7 seconds isn't the fastest time we've seen for the first 2 points, but it's not the slowest either, but I think on this map it's
true.
So
like, he gets so much damage again on the demo man, then just Murphy died to Roller, so demo man down again. Sneaky's doing so much. Maybe 2 nationalities with unintelligible languages are probably syncing up. I don't know, like this is what I heard, that Welsh people have their kind of own language. As Saw actually onto Imba. I don't know if he got the charge of that, but he has 100%. I mean, it didn't really matter that much, but we're still waiting for the WASP side here to make something, as Catman gets Cartman and is down currently as the frag! CeeJaey
He's trying away, just takes his flamethrower and he's just like, BAM! There we go, that is a kill onto Enya, and so close to the Uber, gets taken down. Zamperoni, nice and comfortable. He's in a safe space with 100%. He's got even dispense of a company. He can hide in that little baby if he wants to just dodge some damage. And a really strong hold here from Open Squad at the moment. Murphy with another couple of pipe. He's doing well for himself at the moment. Although I say that and he gets catmanned. So maybe that's the opening that WASP need to get somebody in.
No! Why? Why do you heal the spy and then he gets the entire God, I mean, this is the classical thing. I mean, using disguises, always good to see it. I don't know. Do they really speak? Like, comes to more kills, like, do they speak the same language, CeeJaey? Do they?
I
Are there Russian dialects?
I mean, yeah, I'm assuming there's communication. So this is like the 3 biggest picks you could get, really. Catman, Detoad, and Morg. I mean, other than getting a med drop, Mezzo's done everything he could there. Straight away takes down Catman as well again, so he's in the respawn queue for another few seconds. And yeah, still doesn't have 100% but he's healing people on the dispenser as well, which isn't going to build it too fast. But Imber getting a frag onto Cloudy, so no sniper now. It's going to give Morg some space. I mean, it would give Morg some space if he was alive. He got taken down by Mezzo there. He's starting to use the revolver this time around, but this could be an opportunity for pushing in. So
another
yeah, Mezzo's just fragging.
Yeah, what a surprise. German pick classes being efficient to have this stereotype of the... but Murphy actually kind of overextends there into Clark, into Engineer of the season, and gets gunned down. But, I mean, we talked about it not really here, but in general, you know, Borneo third is a very hard point to push. This is why I wanted to say, like, the breaking point is if they immediately push this, because now it just takes a lot of time. I mean, Zipperoni's only on 50% and they're moving in currently as we get a pass. So yeah, as the combo of WASP just came in top right and told to their people, oh wait, we haven't figured our strat out, how we want this to push, DDoS the server quickly so we can figure it out.
I'm looking from the sentry point of view. I'm not sure if you can get this camera angle, but there's some quad rockets heading towards Catman from the sentry, and there's a chance they'll either go up Poker's bum or they'll go through his legs and kill Catman. So yeah, they're actually like they're going through the legs. Like, this looks really good. This could be an absolutely amazing rocket from Mason's sentry. He's wrangling it as well. So this isn't just like
skill. It's a skill shot.
This is a skill shot. This is you know, it takes him down. The Uber comes in on top though. Deto's going to take most of it with DQZ trying to get the sentry, but Mason manages to get out. Oh, he goes down to Light Claw. Almost an amazing play there from an engineer. But Open Squad have to kind of regroup here and back off. Sneaky tries
to... position! And yeah, goes down there. Oh, the rhyme. Anyway, I have to retry to actually see it again, because it broke my HUD and also broke my heart. But Enya went down, so this made Stale the push out a bit. I mean, they got a lot of picks, and Wiethoofd is currently aggressive here, and actually Enya got a saw onto Mezzo. So CeeJaey, I hope you actually retried your game while I talked to you to buy you time. So please do the favor now, as we probably... Oh, Catman is coming aggressive here, CeeJaey, but he gets taken down, so maybe a bit Stale again.
Yeah, I mean, third point is hard to hold, or it's hard to push, sorry. But pushing last is one of the ones that takes the mid. Oh, Imber takes down Poker. That was a mini trick stab, I guess. I don't know. It looked nice to me. It looked nice. But yeah, last point's one of those where you can just get a lot of time. I mean, we've seen some Premiership officials end with teams just not capping the last point. But Enya does have an Uber advantage here. He's at 100%, Zamperoni only at 75, so if WASP decide to start making a move now, they are coming in this lower area, trying to get Morgan into position.
This Dragon's Fury thing, like, Sneaky is just going ham on the flank, and someone is going ham on the pause button, as we have another pause coming in. I just retried, I just actually had, I don't know, data to work with to talk about this game, but there comes another pause. But CeeJaey, it actually like felt as they were taking a lot of time on third, but like as we said, like Borneo, you can, it's a very, it's not only a long like map, but it's also like these as we go live again, these points just get way more harder to hold as you go on, which is basically what a good payload map should be. So it's only 8 minutes. This is still like a proper, like a decent time for both teams actually, because it really depends on how much they hold now or how fast they push in.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, it's exactly what you say. It should be a good payload map, one that the first point is easier to cap than the last. And Borneo definitely is one of those maps. And last point is a tough nut to crack. It looks like it is WASP who's having problems. I think it's Catman who's been timing out, which is unfortunate. Them a couple of pauses should be correctified now though. And yeah, like he said, if WASP were to push in now and get something done, then this would be a good time. But any more minutes past that, it's starting to look better and better for Open Squad as they are picking up frags. Detoad and DQZ went down to B's there. We're just waiting for waiting for Wasp to make a move. I mean, Morg is trying to make some space on this far side. This is where people like to play. This is where combos usually play, with the heavy holding on that lip, just underneath the entrance, with the demo spamming and the sniper shooting from a distance. Cloudy actually headshotting Morg, dominating him as well. So Cloudy definitely getting the better of this sniper battle so far. Cloudy actually has experience playing for Wasp as well. He was their sniper during the UGC season, so he's got a little bit of Russian in his cabinet.
And there we go. Again, pick on Morg. Like, they're controlling Morg so hard this game. I feel like they already realized what was happening. And the thing is, they also win the flank fight every time. So there's not actually a lot of stuff happening for Wasp on the flank, which is kind of hard for them really, because the combo fight is quite equal. As Zamperoni actually gets forced, as I say that, but they're playing this correctly. As they're just standing there. Catman is just staying there, AFK, probably timing out again. So he just doesn't care. They just forced to Catman's back, and now they're actually pushing in from the left side with their full Uber advantage. As Wiethoofd is leading the charge here. Nice pipe. They actually overhead pipe. They got a bit forced early, but you know the enemy team doesn't have anything. But they get denied here a lot. Lightclaw actually also goes down to the sentry. So this is kind of cringe for them again. And actually the last shot onto Enier takes him down, and Wiethoofd just gets cleaned up. Like they popped a bit early, which was not the worst thing in the world, but they just didn't get their players in, because the other you have to push the other flank kind of without Uber, and they just didn't do that really. Like, they don't get ground, they don't get enough ground.
Poker dropped down to the cart just to clean up the players on the floor, and Zamperoni hit a nice arrow onto him just to keep him alive. So it was really well played there. Meza getting the med pick as well, which means Zamperoni has a huge Uber advantage again. He's at 85, and here desperately trying to build it up here. He's at 35. It does look like Catman is having issues, although he's on the move now. He's got the bread on his hands. He is running into the fight. So Wasp have their full complement of play with a decent enough ping, I guess. Catman still having a bit of an inflated ping, but Morg going for main and trying to land a hero shot there, but takes a lot of damage for his troubles. Catman getting headshot there. Cloudy on a 5-kill streak. He's the man that is really holding this door down at the moment. And Sneaky just rushes in. Can he get anything done? No, he gets counter pyroed. And Enier actually gets the saw. He's onto Mezzo, so he has Uber now. He has to actually use his Uber. This is an awful Uber he's using on Morg. Morg uses his SMG to take down Strono, but
what a pick.
That's, yeah, I mean, I think a pirate would trade that any day of the week, you know, getting the Uber force. Zamp still with 100%, Cloudy rotating his position now, and I think he's the one that's causing them the problems, picking off a player every time they try to push in. And the combo for Open Squad just seems to be really in control at this far side, so maybe Wasp need to try the opposite side.
Yeah, like they have just no chance with pressuring. What you ideally want to do is to pressure the combo. Oh, the shot! I mean, you can also have a, like, maybe not so legit sniper. I did not say hacking now, I said it though. Sniper on your own team to get the opening. But what I wanted to say is they're not like making their stuff work again with a flank before that. I mean, another headshot. I mean, of course you can just have your pick classes carry, and Murphy also gets killed by Lightclaw there. So but the main issue now is it just stays out of it. Like, they're too slow, they don't get enough ground really. Catman is coming in on the left side. He's probably saying something in Russian, but the people are just too far really to follow up, and it's really hard to say who this combo fight favors right now. I would say now though Wasp, because they actually got the ground.
Yeah, Zamperoni just oh, Murphy going down there, 2 Detoed, and Cloudy going as well. So lots of pressure on the cart. Lightclaw doing the best he can, actually pushes it in. 13:56, so just under 14 minutes for the whole map. That's it's a fair chunk of time. I mean, quarter of an hour is a lot of time for Open Squad to play with here. I mean, what did I say at the start here? I edged Open Squad, but I said that they need to keep players like Morg and Detoed under control. What happens? Morg walks in, drops the medic with a headshot, takes down the NG with a headshot. Detoed comes in, cleans up the sentry, and then kills a couple of people, and they eventually manage to push that cart in. So these are the playmakers of Wasp. I feel they're the guys who are going to make get the big frags, open the doors for the rest of their players to come in. So it'd be interesting if Morg gets himself into a decent position, like Cloudy did on defense, and just kind of set himself up and get some frags going. Then it'd be interesting to see how Open Squad react to that.
If they take this long now to push this, then we had as much playtime as we had pre-game. But anyway, what you said, CeeJaey, yes, of course, your prediction was again on point, but then again, you kind of worded it that way that it didn't matter how they would play now, because you would always be correct.
Are you implying I was on the fence?
This is well, and now your pick is on the offense, so we can actually see how they make this work, as the first casualty goes to Mason, who dies to Sticky Trap. I mean, Sticky's diffused is what you call in this kind of scenario right now.
He was clearing the stickies in the point. Yes. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. Looking at Clark's entry, it's very, very passive. It's literally on the first point, so that's not going to really come into play unless the U becomes pretty deep. But Poker there, or Posca as you call him, getting sorted, and then gets Mezzo also gets taken down by Lightor. So a couple of frags for him on the flank, going to be pretty decent. But Cloudy's there in a position now, trying to get some snipes down onto some players, see if he can get a pick to really kind of make some space for his team. But with this sentry really far back, it's not going to get spammed, but it's not going to be much use in an aggressive fight. But Imber there, not running the Ambi like he was known to back in the day. He's running the Lestrange, takes down Cloudy. So Sniper is out of the fight for the time being, and the Uber is actually used by Zamperoni. Really aggressive, just straight into the combo. Mork goes down, but Sneaky, with the Dragon's Fury, is able to clean up Sikaz there, and I think...
Can this thing even reflect? I don't know.
It can, just not very effectively.
Okay, well, it works if the enemy team isn't pushing very effective. Well, I don't know, like actually we saw in Uber Exchange there, they got the first point, they maybe plowed a bit more forward, but then again I would say still it's good for each team. You don't want to wipe on the defensive team, but then again you maybe want to get a bit more frags here, as the Spy actually goes in, takes on DQZ, and Sneaky is so weak, actually gets Revolver down there, and they're already bleeding players, like 3 players down. This point is lost, CeeJaey.
It is indeed, and Open Squad have control of this firehouse. The sentry is actually in the window watching the car, so that means it's close to the combo, and it's going to get taken down by Poker straight away, as is Clark. That's 4 alive for Wasp here. DQZ is trying his best, takes down Mezzo, but it's not a huge pick. Enier has more for company, manages to escape.
Immer forced the Uber by just stabbing him in the face. This is a sprayer pop right now, but they do get the ground. Enya still has his charge, but he doesn't really have the ground or players in position to use it on. So that's easy second point for Open Squad, as they're just kind of plowing through this. Really, the main issue is now really Russians. They shouldn't be players as Catman goes down, and they get forced in a bit of an awkward position here right now. I mean, the combo is right there, but the main issue is the Pyro's right there. They do get Poker, but the Spy comes in now, whiffs the stab, and Lightclaw gets taken down. So they didn't get enough ground because Pyroclast just steals them out. That's kind of, you have fun on the playground, and then there's the Pyroclast coming in and just, I don't know, like throwing sand in your face or something.
I mean, I think they just wanted to get aggressive there. I think they wanted to push out and kill the medic, but when you've got that Pyro alive, you need to kill him. Otherwise, he's just going to reflect you. And Stronomite actually was really low, but he denied the Uber and stayed alive, so totally nullified any push out from Wasp there. And that means Zamperoni has 100% ready. Been building well though, and he's up to 70, so may be able to get his Uber if they decide to push in anytime soon. Although, I mean, it is this third point again. We've got a level 2, still level 2 in position. Uber is used aggressively by Open Squad. They have position. Uber comes in, Uber's being healed, but Poker turns around just in time. But it looks like both teams are losing kind of key players in. It depends if Open Squad can hold this ground enough for their team to
They want to re-push this. With Wiethoofd, he just gave him the look. He just looked Enya straight in the eyes, and they both knew what it was going to happen. I'm pretty sure they didn't even call for that. They just looked at each other, and then they're not actually getting this much with it. I mean, they got Poker, they got their countrymen down, so this works. But yeah, a lot of cap time. I mean, you only have to focus the card. You know, that's it doesn't look good on the logs, but you win by doing that. And they have 10 minutes now, like roughly 10 minutes to push this point. They don't have this big of openings, as they just get killed here. Just two up, and a 6's scout probably. I mean, he's hitting his shots, so it's probably 6's scout, not Highlander scout. Just cleans up everyone very easy, and now they have the potential to hold this third point if they don't overextend, which is kind of likely.
Yeah, I mean, if you push out like that and you have a good scout, good soldier, good demo, they can really chase hard and manage to get that medic frag. So it means that Zamperoni is at a disadvantage. Eni is up to 75% now, and that means something needs to be done by Open Squad to try to break this hold. That level 3, oh sorry, no, it's a level 1 actually, so that could probably be spammed out here. Mezzo's going for it, gets the sap onto it, jumps away, just kind of causing a bit of havoc there. Catman struggling to get back into the game here, joining the wrong team and then killing himself. Yeah. Unfortunate for him, and actually could be to the detriment of his team's third hold, as Open Squad have the top point. Uber was used by Enia, but it didn't get enough frags in Zamperoni. Gets it just in time to save some of his team. Poker very weak, as is Murphy and Strono, but Dito is going to get cleaned up. Surely this cap is going to go down for Open Squad now, and they've got just over 8 minutes to push this last hold. It's a lot of time to play with Domaytoe. They can fail like a lot of pushes before they run out of time.
It's the bane of Catman again. He's ruining your preseason playoffs. He's ruining your preseason cups. But they're actually looking for a bit more of an aggressive hold. This is good because you can buy a bit of time. But then again, it's kind of the gamble you have to take, because I mean you can definitely hold last for like these like insane 8 minutes, but you can buy kind of time forward here. But the main issue is, which is what kind of WASP have been struggling this entire time, to not like lose players into awkward positions, as Cloudy just got a really good position on the right side, is looking at Enya here. I don't think he will survive. They do get a conch, so maybe they can make something work, but CeeJaey, it's really like it's hard to say. Like, they just don't need to be players here currently, which is what they're doing good. Like Imma shut down Cloudy, but yeah, 7.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, Zamperoni not got his Uber yet, so it's an interesting forward hold coming in from WASP here. Murphy going down to Imber, and obviously that makes a lot of space for his team, and there you go, Dito, Lightclaw, cleaning up the players that are daring to cross too far forward. Morg doesn't have Razor back on, he's probably open to a spice up, and he gets, I called it, that's the game sense there. Mezzo knowing to go for the sniper as he was away from the combo without the Razorback, and that's a free kill for him. That's going to give more space for Cloudy, who himself is alone, so he's going to be susceptible to a spy as well. But yeah, this forward hold from WASP is going to be much weaker without Morg. Now Sneaky gets dropped there, the sentry is going to go down, Clark surely going to get cleaned up, so this sentry nest is dead, but the counter Uber comes in onto Catman and Detoed, and they're just going to destroy the players from Open Squad. But there we go, collapsing.
Yeah, the main issue was they could have made that work. Like the Open Squad combo was like, oh hello Sentry, we are an U-bot combo, and then the WASP side was, oh hello U-bot combo, we are the combo with the better stuff, and then the Open Squad flank came in and said, hello, we wipe you. And I mean it stalled out a bit again, which is really good for WASP currently, as Catman gets headshot. I think he has actually spent more time in the respawn, or like respawning, as
Detoed, wow. Gets a triple kill. Triple kill with the stickies.
And Poker as well.
Yeah.
And he's on Zamperoni. No! He gets killed there by Lightclaw. Really good coordination. So 70% advantage for Enya, CeeJaey.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, Zamperoni died earlier to Lightclaw during that chaos that happened around, you know, that forward hold. But Enya gets backstabbed! I think, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was a drop. He was getting close to Uber. But that's a big pick coming in from Mezzo, and that means it has an advantage to Zamperoni. Not a huge one, but it does mean that they have heals for the time being, and maybe start to pressure. They haven't got Cloudy though, so no sniper pressure. Morg is going to have a little bit of freedom, but it does look like Open Squad are trying to push through this doorway nonetheless, get their players in and cause some havoc. Poker versus Catman, and with the help of Detoed, Poker goes down, but double stun from Mezzo. Catman and Detoed down.
What a stab there. Yeah, it was kind of the showdown of the Russian heavies, but then German pick class ruins the fun. Sneaky, they're just getting spawn camped right now. This is very, very likely to be over, because they're not actually, I mean, DQZ did a lot, but he was the only one actually denying it, and this is so over. You have no idea how over this is. Currently has like 9 players on the card or something just to get the cap points, and then kind of all die from the explosion, but they do win. And CeeJaey, your not actually forced prediction wins there. My record was not ruined, but you know.
I mean, I called it. You know, that was it's my prediction. Shut up. No, I mean, I think there's a lot of issues there. Catman not being able to...
Catman was the issue.
Yeah, I mean, he was timing out a lot, and was kind of stuff going on. Clark saying in chat now, got to get a Merc. Sneaky has to go, so we're going to see a different Pyro coming into play for WASP. Obviously, this is a best of 3, so we'll be seeing at least another round. If Open Squad win it, then they win. And then if WASP win, I do believe we go to a decider. But just take a quick look at the logs. It's actually Mezzo who top frags. 30 kills in 26 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad indeed. Followed by Detoad and Lyclaw. I mean, Detoad there, massive damage. Getting 15k damage. That's actually nearly 6,000 more damage than Murphy. So there's a huge damage differential there between the two demos. And Lightcore 26, we saw him getting some key mid picks at the end there. Really on the cleanup. I mean, is there anyone else who stands out for you there, Domaytoe?
Just had to pull up the log thingies. Who stands out to me in terms of frags? Not really. But I think the main issue was probably just people realizing, like, we had a bit too much banter maybe going on. I actually didn't analyze what was happening this well, but I mean, you can't see from logs alone what happened. So we're kind of in this awkward position now where we just say something like they didn't work off their synergy good enough. The pick classes carried, and the DM was just not confined and refined enough for the WASP side.
I mean, that's like politicians speak. Like, you know, you answer a question with a question. You literally don't say anything. You just say stock phrase.
What was the team you went for, CeeJaey again?
I said Open Squad. I said
really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Like really. I would still say like they have the potential there but you could see that they were not playing as a team enough. I mean, it's hard to play with a team if your heavy is not there the entire game. But as you said, we are following Open Squad now in these 3 games. But we have another person. Another team joining in for the next game, as we both casters now switch voices and personalities, as you will be greeted by a new pair soon. And
well, actually, Domaytoe, you're incorrect. You're staying. Right. You're staying. You're going to have to carry some British scrub for the remainder of this this Borneo section.
I have to, but then I have to go with Maxi 2 times. I mean, I'm
no.
Okay.
You've got round 2 coming up, which is going to be a different pair of casters. But unfortunately, I have to disappear slightly early due to the unfortunate delays we had on Borneo with getting a server set up and running. But we are finishing this Borneo map. We will have a culmination of this best of 3. But instead of hearing me, you'll be hearing the amazing tones of Chando. So please welcome Chando. He'll be replacing me. Have some fun, guys. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Hello, everybody, and good to be here again. And hello, Domaytoe. So. Do you want to give me a quick update on what's been going on currently?
Currently, I have just realized that this is a best of 3? Question mark? Okay, it is a best of 3. So, Chano, we are now completely in the clear. I'm a bit confused myself, but we are. I'm joined now by you. You have the knowledge. You have the heavy knowledge, which will be the most important thing in this game. Because I have a question for you in a second. But to get you into the picture, Chano, we have Open Squad against WASP currently, and Open Squad kind of, I would say, time-wise, won the first round very decisively, like with 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock. But it's kind of the gameplay tells a different story, because I would say that the margin between these teams is actually not this big, really, like gameplay-wise. I mean, they're like 5 minutes big difference, but WASP have the potential to make this probably a second, like the second round win for them or something. And the question now, because the real problem for WASP was that they did not have a heavy for the kind of like half of the game, which you say it's hard as a heavy to keep your connection up so you don't disconnect constantly as Catman. And is it hurting your team if you don't have a heavy?
Is it hurting the team if we don't have a heavy? So were they playing with literally playing with 8?
No. He was just timing out. I think he timed out 6 times.
Okay,
or 7
right.
times.
I see. So just said, yeah. I mean, on Borneo, I would say, I don't know. I'd say heavy takes a fairly important role, especially on defense. You've got some very good setups. You can do a heavy. Can do a lot of work on the second point, for example, in the barn area. He can do a lot of work there, and it's having basically at the end of the day, not having an extra 450 HP in your combo is gonna make it very difficult to actually hold anywhere, and it's gonna make it difficult to push anywhere because you want to maybe tank that damage with your heavy as you're trying to push through choke points and whatnot. And without him, well, you've really not got a chance. But now Catman, I assume, is back and his connection is stable. So it would be interesting and probably a little bit more fair to see how things are going to develop into the second round here. And so I'm looking forward to it. So what have the predictions been so far then?
What is your prediction is the real question, Chando.
Well, I'm really excited to see both of these teams. I mean, they're both kind of older teams. WASP even more so, playing for a long time. Open Squad playing a few seasons ago. In different divisions, but so it's good to see them both back. By the looks of the rosters and the fact that they're both sort of like re-emerging, they're both fairly new teams, and in the sense of their rosters, it's gonna be hard since both teams have got fairly fresh synergy, I assume. I wouldn't put it past the Russians to actually take the victory here. Like I say, it'd be good to see them with having like 9 players consistently. A hell of a difference. And so I'm gonna say that WASP might be able to claw this second round back and take it to a best of 3, and from there it could definitely go either way though still, Domaytoe.
Alright. So there we have this, like kind of what I said. So if we have a best of 3, then don't we have to play a 3rd round probably if WASP win? I still haven't.
That would be what a best of 3 would be. Yeah, I mean, it would be. Yeah, so
these are getting so
I'm assuming
complicated.
if Open Squad wins this, then they will win. That will be it. The game will be over.
Okay.
If WASP wins this, it will go to a best of 3, and thus side rounds will be the 3rd round because they've still got to. Ultimately there has to be a winner for the tournament to progress.
I just meant Highlander is getting so complicated these days that people actually voluntarily like put up to play 3 best of 3s in one evening of Highlander. But I guess these people actually want to, and therefore what we can kind of expect though, Chando is on the Open Squad side. Kinda the combo fight has been a bit more refined in that sense that they actually play a bit more together, and I would say both flanks are quite on par really. And I would say that currently the pick classes for Open Squad are a bit more consistent, but again, it can shift if they actually like, if they just start to roll this, because this is what you need to do on a payload map. WASP just took a bit too long to push this as the gates just open up. So let's see how they work their players in Open Squad currently. Chando, what do you see?
Well, early days still, Domaytoe, but we've seen a first pick onto Lightclaw by Mezzo. Good stab onto him. It's going to open up the flank a little bit, allowing maybe them to push up on the left side a little bit. DQZ still holding it down. They're just pushing that card up. You can see Poker playing on the card there, trying to get it as far as he can with the Fist is still there. He's going to have to back up a bit. And I think they're just going to be trying to work out where the enemy is. They're kind of pushing up slowly on this left side, trying to get Cloudy into a good position where he can start wreaking havoc. So, I mean, we all know how strong he can be. Murphy is able to get the pick onto Wiethoofd there. And Morg getting the counter snipe onto Cloudy is going to open things up. And then the pick onto Mezzo and Murphy as well is going to slow things down. Poker going down as well. And now they're going to have to back things up and reconsolidate. They've got the cart into a good position now. They just need to commit to the push.
It was a good suicide knife, but now they're actually pushing and their players are not in position. I don't know what this pop is. Really completely cringe, because way better there for Catman and his team. But like they pushed in there. I mean, they probably checked scoreboard and saw, oh wow, everyone is up. But the main issue was everyone just spawned, so they didn't actually have to ask forward. They still do have this right flank where a Scout MG is currently going on. Sikas runs away with like 1 HP. He gets hit by Lightclaw. Lightclaw's a 1 HP as well. What a play there. What a passage of play, as Murphy just goes down to Wiethoofd and Imma gets a big step onto Poker. So it stands out a bit currently for WASP, as they are biding their time here, as They might have actually. Smart choice, I would still say, because Open Squad just took the right flank with Cloudy, and you can only hold for this much. You just have to give a lot of respect to a sniper, as Cloudy just goes down by Imba, which is basically kind of a, yeah, what we can see here. Lightcloud just gets sticked off onto tracks, but it's just important, really, chando, that you back your combo out and don't lead too many players. I still think WASP are too far forward. They should get out into Jenkins right now, which is what they're doing.
I think so. They made the right choice in backing out early. They don't want to overcommit to the first point here. It's very easy for it to get run over, and then you can to the second point very quickly. The Ubers are exchanged, and Catman being able to get the pick onto Poker there. He couldn't actually get out. I don't know whether he knew that or not, but that is a one-way drop down there. And Murphy as well, getting the reflect, or getting killed by his own reflect. And the sentry as well going down, so they're going to be able to aggress up a little bit, which is good, but they've got to be careful not to overdo it. As you can see, Dito just going down as well is going to make things very difficult without a demo man. Meanwhile, on the flank there, it's just going to be DQZ doing a decent job of putting down that damage. So both sides doing alright. The stab onto Catman as well are very significant. They're going to be able to actually probably start pushing this up in. They still haven't got Dito'd either, so they're just onto their Pyro for the defending team there. So they might be able to start getting in now, so you can see they want to be pushing in a bit. And this is a good call from them, very aggressively. They just got to deal with that sentry, and then they might be able to capitalise and take the second point.
Why did Skettis go? I was confused because it said Skettis went down, and I didn't read this name before, but I guess someone got swapped out. Sneaky actually, yeah, got swapped out for someone who probably speaks Russian this time, and not another intelligible language like Welsh. And the Heavy is out of ammo, and I mean the frags kind of come down here, but the defending team will definitely like stabilize here because they got a lot of frags there, and in the midst of that, Poker just went out of ammo, which was a bit unfortunate there. So they can actually retake Jenkins as they have a 20% advantage. But yeah, Sneaky out, Skettis in, and now not with the Dragon's Fury, but with a normal flamethrower where you can actually deny Uber stuff and such. But they're not actually feeling comfortable retaking this forward position. They're just standing on tracks here with a slight 30% advantage and looking at each other through a window as the snipers just try to get an opening. Cloudy there takes the head of Catman, so it's kind of stales out a bit. Cloudy has a sideline, but there's nobody really peeking it.
Now, interesting play actually from WASP there, rotating their flank into Jenkins and having their combo play on the balcony area. They've had to back up a little bit now. They couldn't fully take it back in time, and you can see that now Open Squad having been able to take that Jenkins area, they've got a position to try and focus down that sentry and slowly but surely push WASP out of the point there. Poker's going to be committing his life to try and get the cart in the right position. It's not going to do it, however, and Lightclaw going to go on a nice little cleanup there, and the Uber's going to get exchanged, but they're losing so many players. Lightclaw on a 5k, insane DM coming out from that man today, and only a few players up. They are going to be able to cap the point, but they've lost so many players, Open Squad, that it looks like WASP are going to be able to get a good aggressive setup here. Very good setup if you have the time and you have the positioning and the players, and they certainly do this time. So they're going to get that sentry way on the bridge area, and they're going to be able to hold the sort of forward third point here. It's a very good place to sort of kill some time.
They all got out pretty safely there. I was kind of heartbroken a bit that they didn't actually retake the point, because I loved how the flank just came in there with a conch and did so much that just, I don't know, kind of stopped Open Squad there in their tracks to really push, and the card still really far back. So much time just for the WASP side to kind of settle themselves down, have your sniper get a pick on the soldier again, and kind of pick a bit of players up as we are just slowly lurking. There's still a 20% advantage actually for Zamperoni, but the kills are just coming in from more currently as they actually take the exchange here. I'm not sure, this is kind of indecisive right now. Enya is currently out. They do get a actually Poker gets stabbed. They did get a frag onto Catman, but the card's so far back, and now they have Uber. So it's still hard to see. Jordan has to pull a lot here, just hold this position. They're actually committing here onto them. They could use this because the card's still far back, but they need a kind of a damage class there that has no stickies or something. But now they solo use on a demo. He really needs to do a lot here, and he won't. And kind of Lightclaw was lacking there, like a hit scan class. They needed a hit scan class in that, but they have scared them away, so that's fine. But Zamperoni has full Uber advantage now.
I'm not sure whether I would have gone with that Uber there. It seemed kind of unnecessary. They weren't able to get the pick on the medic. It was a very unrealistic kind of push there. I think they were a little bit scared, and not having that hit scan class, as you said, it's going to be difficult to actually get the aggression in when you're defending. So now, obviously, Zamperoni is going to be having that full Uber, and they're going to be able to use it on this right side here, gets straight into the sentry, and now Murphy and Poker, however, both getting picked off. They just kept the Uber on Strono, and it probably wasn't going to be enough, but he's doing a lot of work, mind you. Getting a lot of stuff done and loads of picks coming in for Open Squad. They did lose their core combo, but they made up for it with their pick classes in their flank, doing a lot of work there. And yeah, now back and forth frags, but it looks like they're going to be able to take this next point.
Meza just came in, get a frag onto Detour, then gunned down Enya. This kind of was the salvaging point again. Catman in Light Class, I don't know if they got the memo that you can't hold forward with like 2 players, but they're backing out now slowly. As Imma kind of was in position but did get cut out, so 40% advantage currently for Zamperoni as we're just looking again. It's literally almost mirrored. I mean, it was like half a minute more for WASP, like the other way around when they pushed, when they were settling on this last, so it really is important now to see how much they will settle down in this kind of scenario, because they can now buy a lot of time here if they don't actually, like Meza was in, Cloudy was in, but no, Cloudy was not in, but he got killed, you know, so both pick classes down. Nothing will really happen from these so far, so maybe the flank can open up something, but I don't think. They will just wait for respawns now, because they still have 40% advantage. I don't know why Catman looks like he's AFK, but okay, he's just really concentrated, chando. Heavy gameplay obviously needs a lot of concentration, but they're kind of wasting their Uber advantage currently. Oh, yeah, they do.
I feel like they waited quite a long time there, but they also lost their heavy just before they were getting ready to push there. So kind of a fault on Poker there for playing a little bit too aggressive perhaps, and opening himself up to that sight line just before a push. They are able to get the stab onto DQZ, just going to open up possibilities on the flank. Lightclaw as well going down, but Murphy getting sniped as well is going to make things difficult for this push here. It looks like they want to take on this right side here. And I mean, how would you usually recommend a good push here? Because this can be a very difficult point to take. How would you approach from the left or from the right or from the traps?
You need, yeah, that's what I said earlier. Good point. Actually, you need to push in both sides, because the main issue is you can just back to the other side because it's a really big last point. As you see, like now Murphy pressures from the right side. It's usually the flank's job, but it doesn't matter as they kind of got a bit damage, and now the soldier actually hit at the spawn, and it's great stuff currently. I mean, the close range headshot really good, looks good there on the frag movie, and you just have to cut out before you just get your last capped in 9 minutes, which is kind of not that good for a frag movie. But what you said, chando, or the answer to your question was what happened as I explained it, because usually you need to have both flanks occupied as you push in, and usually by the flank and the combo, but they kind of split their combo up. Murphy was pressuring from the right side, and then they just plowed behind them with the Uber, which was really good to see. So 9 minutes. The main issue is it's a pushable time, but I'm not feeling this comfortable for WASP currently, as we have seen that Open Squad have been kind of more refined in their offensive kind of pushes.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised by just how effective the Open Squad pushes were. I mean, individually, some amazing talent from Open Squad. A lot of ex-Failure players, for example, have formed together. So clearly it's going to be a strong team.
Formed together is a very nice euphemism.
Well, maybe. But I'm very hopeful, but I was very impressed with how synergized they were together, considering they haven't really been playing together for that long as a reformed team. So we might be able to see the same thing from WASP, though they might have to turn this around. Doors are going to be open. We're probably going to be looking at a suicide wave there. Cloudy going to be able to get that first pick onto Morg there. It's going to free up the issue of a sniper, which can be lethal on this first point. And Cloudy also going and taking down Detoad, Lightclaw as well, both going down as well here. So I mean, the suicide wave's kind of already crumbling apart, don't you think, Domaytoe?
Yeah, like they didn't actually get their ground, and I mean DQZ got into the right side, and I mean gets fragged now, but with the direct hit he got the sentry gun, and the entire flank was there, but he kind of you know, fought for his own position there and got the sentry, which is good entry actually. I was critical on what was Murphy doing on the left slope as Cloudy. I mean, maybe you can play a bit more aggressive if your sniper's just headshotting everything, and like this is the same thing, by the way, chando, what happened in the first kind of round currently, as also the pick class kills the flank there. Like they're struggling to get any ground here really, as Cloudy's just killing all the players and the flank is really not that overwhelmed by the enemies because they have a sniper, the defense and the offense don't. But what I would say, Murphy's playing a bit too aggressive for my likings, and Mezzo goes down, so maybe they can actually work their players. And now as the Uber exchange is close here, see, like Murphy's so weak, but they have to flash a lot, and they actually flash the spy, so it might, yeah, it's way better on the WASP side here. Open Squad need to get the heck out of here, and they need to be more aggressive here because they need to roll this channel right now.
Absolutely, Wasp have a good opportunity now. They could really get the ball rolling here. Pick onto Cloudy as well is going to make things even better for them. They don't have to worry about that sort of deadly sort of choke point along the tracks here. So Morg just is going to have the monopoly for a while on the sniping here. You can see he's already now he's just holding down the entire second point. Anyone that tries to set up some defense there, they do, however, managed to get their combo back into Jenkins there, which is a good thing. It's a very good place to defend. We've also got their sentry getting built up as well, so a formulation of a good defense already. Open Squad, despite having a bit of a poor Uber exchange on the first point, they were able to reconsolidate pretty quickly, and the pick onto DQZ, body shot onto Lightclaw, it's going to help their flank a lot, and they've also got their combo securely held in Jenkins now, so they're doing quite good at the moment.
Yeah, important facts there on the flank. Before that, we had an amazing passage of play where Morg stood on tracks and Murphy came from tracks, got body shot for like 170, and then like jumped behind the tree to be out of the sniper sight, and then he got 2 arrows, and then he jumped out again and got hit for 170 again. Was kind of very interesting. Anyway, as they're getting, like, they got a lot of ground actually on tracks, but Catman gets stabbed there, and it's really hard to say, like, it's really indecisive currently. They could push this in because they're only 5 up, but they still have the position advantage. I mean, DQZ is making a lot of pressure here and actually forces them early. So I think it actually still kind of is good for the defensive side here, because the players that are not Ubert kind of walk into a Ubert combo, which is never a good sign. So they actually don't have the numbers anymore to push this. So they should have just held the ground there, but they didn't. Anyway. It's equal Ubers again, 5.5 minutes. They just need to take this Jenkins area. It's only Cloudy currently there, which is kind of what they're doing, as Tito just gets stabbed, as I said, that by Mezzo, so that they're taking too much time again. I mean, 5.5 minutes on the looks of it is a lot of time, but not really, because Bonnie is a long map, as Morg goes down, so...
It seems that, like, they've got to play... I like the decision for them to play a little bit more passively. They're just trying to play the safe game here. They don't want to lose all their players and then allow Wasps to start a roll. But at the same time, Wasps need to capitalise on the fact that they've given up Jenkins here, because it's a very good place to. They don't have a single player in there. They've just got to deal with Bees. It looks like they're going to be able to deal with him. Now they want to push back in. They took too long, and now the defending team, Open Squad, is going to be playing back in Jenkins now in this strong setup. You've got DQZ kind of getting ready to make a play here, but he's going to get caught out. He's very weak, has to fall back there. And now it looks like they want to commit more to the track push here. It kind of worked for them last time, but they didn't really capitalise enough. The Uber's going to come out there. It's going to be a force. I think it was by DQZ. Murphy! He is in deep. He is hungry for so many picks. Can he get the pick onto the medic though? He is desperate. Not quite though. Manages to get about 50 damage off on him, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to have to back out. Another smart decision. Only 4 minutes 20 seconds left now, and this is very doable for Open Squad at this point.
Definitely. It was kind of what you pointed out there, but also Mezzo just got, he's just killing the combo basically all the time. They're just staining them out, and therefore it works, because if your combo doesn't die, but the enemy team just dies to pick classes constantly, and your flank just holds the flank really well, it's kind of hard to push into it, because you don't get openings for free. And currently Mezzo though gets pressured on tracks, but Morg again, like, either Cloudy gets the frag onto Morg, Morg gets controlled really good. Actually, Open Squad cannot do a Russian thing currently, as they, I don't know, are very aggressive with the heavy, and I mean, they do get the frags. I still have to question this, as now the sides have swapped, as the offensive team is now behind the defensive team. But the Uber comes in, so they might actually get something out of this, as this was a very interesting Ringer Rosie there, chando.
Yeah, some really weird rotations coming in there. It seemed that for a mid-open squad maybe thought that they were on the attack again. But now they've had to fall back. They lost a few players. They can still hold this quite comfortably. 3 minutes, if they just need to play it fairly safely. That's a nice little air shot. I'm going to call that an air shot. I'm Murphy onto Dito there. They're getting good damage in. Meza with the double stab as well. So loads of picks coming out for them. And now if there was any time for them to hold this, now is the time. You can get Poker still playing aggressive with Murphy. They got to deal with the players on the card there. They've done a good enough job. Murphy getting the pick onto Lightclaw there. Skets as well going down, and now they just got to wheedle down the time here. It's just Poker though. He is stuck in the corner, and he's slowly going to get taken down. CeeJaey trying to get the pick onto the medic there, not quite successful, but a good effort. Now they're just going to have to play back onto last. 2.5 minutes, Domaytoe. Can they do it?
They can do it, and they will do it, because they have 70% advantage, and I actually said before that WASP is my prediction. So now I unveil it as I'm sitting on the winning fence. So they can still do this in 2 minutes. They just kind of have to be aggressive, and Cloudy is on a 20-second respawn, so they actually have the advantage to, because now you see like the left flank is almost completely open. I mean, it's best, but the what is this? Scatters gets dropped in the Uber. Catman as well. Like, what is this? The stuff by Poker? He just gunned down the players that were not Ubered, and now Wiethoofd goes down as well, and it's a bit of a cringe push. They do get a bit of card time, but you could have played that better. I mean, Zapparoni died in that somewhere in this complete carnage, but again, a frag. I think Enya has like 5 frags onto the Spy in this entire game combined, but they could have played that better. They still have 10% advantage. It's not enough in Highlander, and it was kind of down to this push. They can still do it, but they just made it way harder for themselves as it had to be.
I think they really lost out on that push there. That was the best opportunity for them to claw this round back. Getting that early pick onto Zamperoni, it's a huge play there. And unfortunately, I don't think they really paid attention to Poker. And as you said, he was just able to gun down all the players that weren't Ubered. And you know, now they've actually been able to set up with more or less an equal Ubers here. Oh no, maybe not quite, 25% advantage, but it might be enough for Zamperoni to kite it and make a good defense out of it. So with only 1 minute left, they've only really got one good push left, and they have to make everything of it. And he is going to come into that Uber now, and he's really all or nothing. They've got to commit everything if they want any chance of clawing the back. But that first pick on the Dito is not going to help Domaytoe.
He just get like he jumped in because they got forced really early, and then just this was a semi-air headshot. This was just incredible. Like, he was so close range, but they're getting good cap time here. Light climb and the pyro. This is so good cap time. Like, they still have half a minute. That's really good. And he just needs to get out. Like, only 4 players up currently on the side, so Poker will just stay on this card now, because this is the time where the Spy suicides on the card. If he could 10 times to ruin his KD to make this work. And Imma is positioned. No, decloak now and you win this. No, Imma, go! No, now it's too late. Imma decloaks.
No one's even looking at him. No one's looking at him.
Imma! Woo!
Oh man, Poker, what was that all about? He, the golden rule. Ever, you always turn around. You cannot allow yourself to, you know, show your back, and that is like the. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Domaytoe, you're a Spy main. Is that not one of the just these stock decloak spots for when you're on Borneo last and you're just trying to play the point?
You're talking to the absolute correct person. I'm not only a Spy main, but my entire Team Fortress 2 competitive career boils down to, hey, I got 1 pick, but why can't I just suicide 20 times on the card? So my KD looks terrible, but this is the correct play, and this was kind of the default. Like, where else could you decloak? You can decloak, yeah, as you said, there or on the barrels, but he should have just looked behind and he would have seen both decloak spots, but he didn't, and you see, it's 1-1 now because of a Spy back cap in the last 12 seconds. Imma there really getting his remark onto the game, and it's really good to see, because Chando, you're heavy main, you basically main the class that was at fault for losing this, and I'm the class that mains for winning this, so it's really good to see.
I feel personally guilty about it as well. I mean, I just feel like, I mean, all Poker had to do was, he made the correct choice. I will hold the cart, I'm going to make sure no Spy gets on there, and then didn't once turn around. I was watching him in first person, I was thinking, turn around, because that Spy's going to get you. And that's exactly what happened. It is going to see, because you know, I think they definitely could have done that. They'd had such a good defense up until that point. They held off that Uber so well, and they held off sort of the dry push. They basically had it in the bag, and then all he had to do was just to actually do a bit of slide checking, and that would have been it. They would have had this wrapped up, and all would have been good. But we are going to be going now to a 3rd round, so in the best of 3, and winner will take all here, as it's the, you know, it's just a tournament, knockout, whatnot. So yeah, there won't be any golden cat points. There's no runner-up. It's winner or loser here. So yeah, we'll be getting ready to go live now.
So it's not a real best of 3. I mean, you kind of said, yeah, this is best, but it's not a real best of 3 then.
4, 3, 2,
Okay.
1.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. We just got called by the score that I'm still incorrect. Anyway, by Wiethoofd. Anyway, therefore, what you actually said, I mean, they did win the second round. But it was kind of a cheesy like mistake there a bit, and they like. You know, chando, this is what is important as Mezor actually gets the step onto Morg, big step. I mean, you of course can cheese these rounds like that, but it is more importantly to see how good they are refined in the combo fight. And if we just look at this, then Open Squad actually won the combo fight before that, and they like now currently as we are on this first defense, they get forced really early. So this time WASP will probably win the combo fight, as Catman is a way better Uber here and will kill Poker probably, as Poker gets a nice arrow there and Gunstarts Gettys with that, and Catman now against CeeJaey, but he gets killed, the Russian man. They won't get too much wiped here as the Sep came down on the sentry gun, but it's still up, and Mezor also got cleaned up, and the sentry gun is actually doing work as killing Mason as well, and CeeJaey gets body shot there. I mean, Enya went down, which is kind of a big loss, so 40% advantage for Zamperoni when Enya respawns. But what I wanted to say is, of course, they cheesed this round. On the looks of it, they won it, but they kind of needed to be a bit more refined there in the combo fight, as they're still holding this first point. Should be off short-lived though.
No, I mean, it was a brilliant push. It was quick, concise, and it got the job done. Unfortunately, the post-fight took way too long to fizzle out, and Lycla actually was stubborn enough and sort of stayed in on the fight, and he did a lot of good. He actually got 2 important picks there, and that was enough to slow them down a little bit, and it's going to give them also a bit of time for WASP now to set up in Jenkins here. They're playing nice and aggressively, as you've seen them do already, and I mean, it might work for them, but it really depends, because this aggressive play hasn't worked that well in the past, I want to say, with Open Squad. Their pushes, I would say, is where their strength lies, and they're already in with the Uber again. They do have that Uber advantage, and only coming on to about 65% now, so they've already taken control of Jenkins. From here, they can slowly but surely take control of the whole point here. They've got a good shot here, and speaking of good shots, Enya getting sniped in the face by Cloudy. Seen him do it way too often. He's such a good player, and yeah, they're going to be able to pretty much to get this in now with the heal advantage. They've just got to keep Zamperoni alive. Cloudy also getting that pick onto Clark there, so the sentry gun will not be bothering them for much longer. There it goes. It's just Morg, I think, that they've got to deal with, and then they've got this in the bag.
They're overextending there a bit too much. This pick really onto Enya saved this entire thing. WASP could have helped that, because, I mean, they basically basically gave them Jenkins for free, but like the flank was doing well on holding tracks, as an interesting shot there through somewhere, interesting sideline. I kind of heard that sidelines are a very constant factor on this map, but not if you just, I don't know, crack shot something. So Zamperoni went down to a full body shot, I would say, as Morg has turned on Hex. He's on tracks, he's fought. He doesn't have any support, but he doesn't need any support except his sniper rifle, because this is what he does. Zamperoni though gets a SAR onto Imba, and so
he got 3 saws.
Oh, okay.
He actually just claimed back Uber. Like, he got killed, and then he got the Uber he needed to equalize it again. So like, insane play by Zamperoni, and bad play by
yes, chando.
Imba.
But I have to defend Imba here, because as a spy you do that so the enemy medic gets quicker Uber, so you can get more drops on them. But you see,
yeah.
Dude, sure. I have Ubers dropped on my spy knife. Anyway, the Uber was kind of not decisive, you see. I mean, yeah, of course, 3 saws. This is something that should never happen, really. Cloudy is in now, on top right. Catman stands still there, and he's calling for arrow, and I have the exact call what he called there, as they're just dying there onto Open Squad. Sket is really good, and before that, just Morg is in the back lines killing. Sket is kind of overextends there a bit too much, and I can tell you exactly how this call went down by Catman when he went weak. He said, "Go arrow, heal faster than Medigun." This is how he calls that, and they kind of won here. And Catman is coming aggressive again. And Cloudy gets sticked off there by Detox. So they're actually getting their third hold down again, which is where you're actually buying a lot of time again. So it's looking like better and better for WASP, as they actually have 60 to 70% advantage right now, Chandler.
Absolutely, yes. Zamperoni and his team trying to sort of, where they can on this right side. It's getting shut down quite well. They get the pick onto Morg there, which is going to help for Cloudy to have some space. And the stab and the sap of the sentry gun as well, making things very good for potential push here, but they still have that Uber advantage to worry about. They get the force out, brilliant bomb in there by Bees, and he's gonna get that force off. Very well played by him, and now the tables have turned. Zamperoni on 75%. They don't have to worry about that sentry. It's gonna come back, but it's only gonna be level 1, and they are getting ready to push in here. They get that pick into Skedis, and they're getting nice and deep into this next point here. It's exactly what they need to do, and if they can deal with Catman now, Catman was able to take down Murphy, and he takes down Chando as well. Oh, but the Uber comes out, and it's just, oh man, Catman doing so much.
Why? Catman is a god. Oh god. I mean, Zamperoni kind of went for the saw then in the end, which was actually, I mean, he got out, and now Poker is in, but Wiethoofd is behind, he just gets cleaned up. So interesting play there, which was just, okay, I have to call that anyway, solely won by Catman, and Murphy kind of not knowing the limits of a ledge where you stand on and the physics, but I feel like they just pushed a bit too forward there because before they had Uber, or maybe they had Uber but they didn't use it in time. You have to give some respect, but Mezzo gets a pick onto Morg, so this might open it up as full Uber advantage now for Enya, and we're still on this point. I mean, it's still 6.5 minutes, but you have to... Lightclaw was in behind and somewhere died there, but Cloudy gets taken down, Mezzo, so nothing will really happen here currently, as the time just ticks down for WASP currently chando.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job now setting up on this third point. It can be very difficult to take control of. They actually have to pop up their Uber though, and I'm not sure what caused them to do this, but if Zamperoni can get out, which is going to be tough, the Pyro is hot on his heels, but it looks like he's going to try and get out. No, he's going to walk straight into a backstab by him, but perfect positioning by the Spy there. Knew that Zamperoni would just try and make a beeline as far back as he could, and was waiting for him with his Spicicle or knife or whatever it was. And yeah, now that's going to give Enya about a 40% advantage there, and with Bees just come in and eliminates that advantage. Once again, it's back and forth medic frags tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and wow, is it great to see, because yeah, now Zamperoni is going to have probably a big enough Uber advantage to push off about 25% or so. That's probably going to be enough to do. They might even try and push this in, but they can't be too over ambitious, otherwise they're going to lose Zamperoni and lose their Uber once again.
They're coming from the right side here currently. I mean, they do have kind of heals forward, but the problem is, okay, Catman overextends. The main issue is you have to pressure this out, is what they're actually doing well. Murphy kind of tunnel visions there and gets killed by Wiethoofd, and then Skedis gets the pick onto Poker, so this is stalled out again. Like, that's what I wanted to say. Of course you have your... Oh no, Wiethoofd gets killed there, so these tracks are just exchanged. You have to, like, kind of hold your ground, but also, like, get aggressive damage forward. Mezzo just waits there and shanks Morg to death, and the Uber actually came in, and Strono is currently fighting a sentry gun, which is the superior class, I think. The sentry gun is the superior class to the Pyro. There we go, but only 2 up for WASP, and this game is carnage. Chando, this is insane.
There's just so much going on all the time. Mad pushes coming in from an open spot there. That Pyro push, I was so skeptical when I saw Zamperoni was just pushing him with just his Pyro there, but against all odds, Strono got so many picks. I think he got 3 kills, took them the sentry as well, completely stabilised their hold there, and now they're going to be able to take it. They've done it in 8 minutes, 11 seconds. Not too bad if they can get this last cap in quickly. If they can get it in with the next couple minutes, that's a decent time, but it's certainly not as good as it had been before, and WASP certainly looking a lot stronger at the moment. So would you say that your predictions at all have changed, Domaytoe?
My prediction is still on WASP. As in the beginning, they will do this, and now it's 8 minutes. You see, it's taken them like longer and longer every round, and currently it's 20% advantage for WASP, but Cloudy has a prime position on the right side currently, completely shutting down this kind of sideline really. We just have to see, like, Morg just goes down to Mezzo so often. I mean, Mezzo dies to Sentry there, but that's kind of what you want to do to get the sniper. Poker is currently just getting rid of cap time, and they're just, you know, they're just trying to see what they can do before they actually get the Uber, but they will push from the left side as Cloudy goes down really early, and they would definitely get forced here if they're... Oh, yeah, see, like... Murphy went down to pretty low HP, and now they have to pop, and it's way better Uber as Sickers just gets immediately melted down, and the chase just comes in, and Wiethoofd is on the chase. Zamperoni does get out, but they do get a lot of ground, a lot of frags, so it just stabilizes again. The cut didn't get this much pressure forward, like on the tracks, didn't get pushed this far forward. Clark has an interesting sentry position, and Zamperoni goes down to a scout running in. Light clawed that one back.
That was some very, very impressive aggression coming in from WASP there, as the combo pushed in from their left side, and Zamperoni and his combo backed out. The WASP defending combo came in from the other side as well and spearheaded into Zamperoni, and he had nowhere to turn at that point. He should have really backed out a lot quicker. He maybe should have seen it coming. They only had 3 or so up, and Imber going to come in, getting the stab on Zamperoni, getting the stab onto Murphy as well before getting taken down by Poker there. Damage has been done by Domaytoe, doing so much work for his team Imber. Obviously clutching that last round, but also just generally in terms of stabs, he's really stepped up a lot. And yeah, I mean, well played to them. It seems like the WASP have come together, and yeah, I mean, it's what I was saying. I think if they can get their synergy right, they've got some insane DM players here, and I think that they can take this victory. But we shall see. Still, this still could definitely go either way. But they definitely, if Open Squad want to take this back, they've really got to start holding down their flank a bit more, not letting them take that aggression that WASP is so desperate for, and they try and get a good push in.
I agree. Like WASP are. What really surprises me a bit though, but in a good way. I mean, the star players are like not performing really like how you would as the stickies from Detour. Who's an 8k, by the way, just pointing that out. I mean, it is a demo man on defense, and Castor's Curse, he just gets killed by that, so I'm sorry, Detour. And the Spy is in behind on Scatters. The players I just wanted to compliment just all die. Catman also gets piped down, so this will be really kind of hard if Open Squad realize that Zamperoni does keep dying in the backlines somewhere, so he doesn't really care about his KD, maybe, or something, but they're kind of bleeding forward players now, which is the really important thing, as they're just all dying and really didn't get this much, as chando also goes down. There's the Sickers on the aggressive. Killsmoke was in a very awkward position, but what I wanted to say, the star players are maybe not as doing as much as you would expect them, as DQZ also gets the frag onto Sickers on the WASP side, but the rest of the players, like Imba has turned up. Imba is also a synonym, I think, in online terms for overpowered, and this is kind of what he is aiming for currently. And also like Scatus, I haven't heard of this guy before, but even he is like performing really well. So yeah, chando, like the star players are not like playing to their full potential, but the rest of the players are definitely playing really well.
Certainly some rising stars, and you know, speaking of some of the top players here on these teams, I mean, I'm yet to see this round for Cloudy to really flourish. He's currently at the bottom of the scoreboard here, and one of the best snipers in Europe, maybe even the world. I really want to be seeing a bit more coming out from him at the moment. Definitely got the potential there, but he doesn't seem to be winning the fights that he was in the previous rounds. So the Ubers are going to come out, and he gets completely flanked, and now they're not going to be able to have an exit strategy. Murphy's going to try his best to escape. Zamperoni actually made a very good getaway there, but they did lose Murphy there. But now the tables are turned a little bit. Bees is on the back lines. He's trying to get some damage, and he's doing a very good job himself. Verling very weak. Tries to get the pick onto Morg, doesn't quite get it. Gets picked off himself, and I mean, good attempt from everyone to back out there. Zamperoni, however, did go down. I think he tried to back out, and then he tried to go in again, and that was a fatal error. The push was never successful first. It was not going to be successful the second time. He needs to back out, hold onto his life, try and hold onto that Uber, but they did manage to get the pick onto Enia. Zamperoni about a 35% or so advantage here, and now for the first time, I think Zamperoni's got a bit of an advantage. He's very weak at the moment, but he's still got that advantage, so if he can stay alive, they might be able to get a good push into it.
Yeah,
they're coming from right side, but there's an engineer! He's dead, never mind. Oh, it's Clog, NG of the season, there he goes.
But he kind of put himself in this position. He kind of pushed in there with low on HP, and like all getting cleaned up again, and it's kind of... If they get these frags here, it's really... Oh no, Poker's on the counter, I need to kill Poker! Bess! No, it's all on you, my friend! Lightclaw! He clops him down, and now the rest come in. The Pyro dies though, it's so much counters going on! And the defending team, actually, this game is so crazy, like, I haven't seen this in a long time.
Sorry to interrupt, Cloudy's got the pick onto Enia as well after all of that. So Zamperoni went down, and then immediately Enia afterwards. So massive back and forth plays there. But Mezzo going to be trying to recreate.
It's the same.
And it works. Oh my lordy, they've done it. They've done it. They've just copied Imba. I mean, I thought Poker was trying to do the same thing. Yeah, I thought Poker was maybe trying to get a bit of revenge there after he mucked up the second round from defending from the sort of sneaky cap there. But he failed, and then where he failed, Mezzo just comes in and says, "No, I'm the right man for the job." And he was. And yeah, they're going to do that 14 minutes and 2 though, Domaytoe. It's not a great time, is it?
no. Well, for the defending team now it is. For the offending team it isn't. But this time we can actually blame it on the Pyro because Sketis got backstabbed and then Mezzo pushed it in. So this time it's the Pyro's fault. Essentially though, as we said, like, so much carnage going on. I mean, I was impressed by how the second scenario actually before we had, like, the last Uber exchange, and I actually like putting this into inverted commas right now with my hands. The last like Uber exchange solidly was where the defending team ended. The offensive team ended behind the defending team again, and then the defending team kind of won that. And after that, it was just pure DM, people just dying for like 2 minutes or something. It was just scrappy all over the place. So, I mean, I would love to say to see these teams a bit more refined in combo fights, but maybe this is their strategy. I mean, this is how Russians play, but I wasn't expecting that this is how Open Squad plays, as Imma just gets piped down in main, can't make anything happen. But we have to see. We have to see the openings, chando.
Absolutely. Speaking of openings, Mezzo coming in with the double stab onto Morg and Clark there, and DQZ and Sketis both going down as well. So the suicide wave already kind of fizzling away there, wasn't too successful, but something we saw from the last round where Open Squad were attacking was just how successful just a straight up just pushes, just without the suicide wave, just come in, use your Ubers and try and force them back, and it worked so well for them last time. So maybe WASP could take a page out of their book. But they want to try and take the more traditional approach here. They are getting the picks, managing to take down Bees and Mezzo as well. In the car into a good position there. Lightclaw doing quite a lot of work. Does get taken down by Poker's minigun there. But and Imber as well going down as well. Ubers are now going to be exchanged. They're doing it nice and early, not waiting too long. And now looks like that Open Squad are going to have to back this one out there. They might be able to hold it off. I mean, however, with Murphy down and Sickers down as well, it's going to be difficult. But, I mean, what do you think they should do now, Domaytoe?
You have to play the long game. I mean, now the Spy comes in, gets a big pick onto Catman. But what you said, yeah, this is actually how you make this work as the offensive team is you kind of play with your heals a bit more conservatively, because the defending team sometimes doesn't realize that you need to hold the point, and then they just overextend too much into your position, which you can kind of, you know, like you can make it vice versa and just play on, I don't know, short-term memory from the enemy team, as Morg is just getting into a position again on tracks. And Cloudy is the one though getting the frag onto Inia. I mean, they still have 12 minutes, they can just make something now work, as we have seen them just walking in. DQZ is already in, Sketis gets killed there. Also before that, the gun goes really weak, Murphy gets killed and Shono as well. Like, see? They have their players walking in and they get the frags that are actually in their favor, and now they just have to play from tracks as Mezzo's getting into position again. By the way, he's just killed Morg all this game so hard. I think he's actually tally camping now. He destroys the tally, but now Catman comes. Fun over for him. But yeah, Morg holds the sideline here as the combo actually went into Jenkins again. So interesting, and Inia gets taken on again. Why?
Just seems to be just seems to be sort of like a running theme here with snipers and spies getting the picks onto the medics here. The medics cannot hold an Uber to save their life, literally. And yeah, I mean, it's really a bit of a problem for both teams, but it just shows the power of both teams as passes here. Some of the best in Europe at the moment, I would say. Morg making a comeback after a long time, but still stepped up considerably, doing a lot of work for his team. So it's good to see him back in the game as well. And I mean, yeah, I mean now it looks like Open Squad has got a good setup, but at the same time, I mean, Dito going down is going to make things difficult, but they don't have to be too fearful. They still have loads of time. They still have 10 minutes to try and deal with this. But until they deal with Cloudy, they're going to struggle getting in here, because Cloudy's just doing so much work on the defense now. He's really stepped up, and Poker coming in with the minigun, taking down Clark and DQZ. CeeJaey taking down Catman. If they're going to go for a push, they need to commit to a push, Domaytoe, sorry. There's no half measures here, are there?
No. There's also no half Mezzos, he kind of survives there on 8 HP, because he's still doing a lot. The card's rolling backwards currently, which is kind of not a good thing. I mean, they still have 10 minutes, but I'm always critical if it takes you like this is already my feeling that this takes them too long. I mean, they're making pressure here on tracks, but they get forced really early, and now only they have to use on poker. Poker goes down there because he got headshot before that, and they can actually make this work currently because there are like absolutely no frags really on the offending team, and they can just take this ground now that they have and kind of pressure them out there as DQZ and Lightclaw come in there. The power of the flank is showing right now, as you see, like they just hold them there, like make them weak and stuff, because the offending team has the advantage in this kind of position, because you can go on the card and they can't defend the card, because as a defending team you have to get out, and as the offending team you have to go aggressive, and this is what just happened. So Enya also again went down somewhere, so it's kind of equal Ubos, which is not the worst thing in the world because the card needs a lot of time, but we now have to see what opens up again.
Absolutely here. It looks like that Open Squad are going to make the decision just to play
it's a
back passive. They're not going to
spy.
try and take that. They don't want to take that aggressive stance like we sometimes see. I think it's a smart move here, considering how much the cart's been pushed up, and now with Enya and his combo already taking this left side approach, you can see Murphy kind of playing more aggressive. But no, I mean, currently Open Squad doing a decent job. If they can hold this down as well as WASP did in the previous rounds, then they could be onto something about clawing this last round here back. It's definitely going to be a close one, Domaytoe. And I mean, yeah, they're just trying to pressure the tracks at the moment, but the stab onto Morg is going to make things very easy now for Cloudy to hold this monopoly on the cart there. It can be devastating. This whole map can be devastating for the enemy team if their sniper is, you know, particularly good. Case in point, just taking down Clark there. Catman as well going down. So I mean, so many picks coming in for Open Squad here. They're doing a very good job at holding it down.
Mok has just been getting focused all game, really. What I also wanted to point out, I think Enya killed Mezzo like at least twice as much as Mezzo killed Enya. I think, like, who's the real counter? The medic to the spy, obviously. Currently though, we have 100% on each side, and we're just waiting again. Was going for this right push, but really good Jarati, and they drop Catman. Like, this was wonderful to see. Like, this is a really good Uber exchange for both teams, actually. Like, I mean, yeah, of course, defending team had this way better. I just wanted to say, like, Open Squad actually had an attempt. No, sorry, other way around. Open Squad had a really good defense there, as the Jarati and everything came in, and Imba and Sketis both go down to a headshot and to flames, respectively. Like, both of these pushes were solid, but Open Squad just had like a real good denial there, just with the Jarati coming in at the right time and everything. Like, too much damage in the kind of crucial first seconds.
Absolutely, and now I suppose WASP really need to start thinking about a different approach here. The time is not so much on their side as it was earlier on. 7 minutes, and this can be an irritatingly difficult point to cap. I think you'd agree there. And you know, 7 minutes isn't that much time now. They really have to start making some successful pushes in the next few minutes here if they want a realistic chance of taking it without being too stressed down. They're going to be trying to push in from this right side though. Uber gets used out by Zamperoni. Now Enya is just going to come into his Uber, just uses it, falling so weak onto 30 health there, but loads of picks now coming in. Loads and loads of picks for WASP. I think they must have recognized this is exactly what they needed to do. One successful push is all they needed there. That's what they got. And Zamperoni actually managed to get out alive, so that was good to see, but by now they've already managed to cap the point here. They've just got one left to go. 6 minutes to do it, Domaytoe. Do you think that's a realistic time?
That was so clean and crisp how they pushed. That was amazing just to watch. I just feel healed or something. It's a miracle. I can walk again. Like the push was really good. Mezzo's coming in currently, killing Morg again. Like, I don't actually want to point this out again, because this is, I would otherwise just call this the entire time. But yeah, chando, 6 minutes. They can definitely make this work. It's just what I wanted to say, and as you said that the points are hard to push, you have so much time, but it's really important for the morale, you know, like to get stuff in. I mean, Catman gets piped down. It's kind of a suicide wave here only, as they have only 80%, so they're actually waiting here. They could have maybe gotten the card a bit more forward, but I don't want to be too critical. But yeah, like, it's really important for the morale that something happens here, and DQZ has an interesting position on the fence again, so maybe he can lure something, some overextending players into that. Doesn't look like it right now, as Morg kind of rotates again. Mezzo is on the combo again, and it's actually Beast getting stabbed, but detoed as well, so we are settling a bit down again, as we are just waiting for this next Uber exchange to happen, as it comes in now from the right side channel.
Yes, and currently, I think they tried to solo it as best they could on Catman there, but it didn't really work. He didn't get anything, and he actually lost his life in the process. So he does go down, and kind of equal Ubers at the moment, you know, completely nullified. But the stab by Imba onto the heavy poker there is going to change things up potentially for them. They now obviously are, you know, both heavies are going to be down. Catman's just going to be respawning though, and they might be able to commit to the dry push here. Bees as well going down, Strono as well. Loads of picks, brilliant opportunity, but a brilliant Jurati onto Catman, takes his life away very quickly. Now it's just down to Murphy and his medic. Can he do it though? They're going to get poker back up. I think they caught out the spy as well, but I think he maybe just got away in time.
That jump by Imba was amazing. Around the combo, and now they're actually, oh no, they're coming in now. Oh, I think it actually favors the offensive team right now, as Zamperoni just, what did he go down to? To a hacking sniper?
Sniper, yeah.
What a surprise. But yeah, now full Uber advantage for Enya. They, it's really interesting again to see. I mean, Morg gets taken down, not that cool really, but they come in there from the left side completely undenied really, and they just frag everyone. Like Cloudy goes down, Mason also goes down. They definitely have the advantage again, as this is the time to wrap it up. There's a medic though on the card as he gets stabbed, so only 4 players
Strono's coming in.
They need to kill Strono.
Good. He did mad damage, and then Bees was able to come back in and clean up on it. And now they're going to be able to set it back up. You can see they've actually opted for the mini sentry now. They can't risk trying to get a level 3 up in time. I think the dry push might be swift. I think he changed back now actually. Maybe expecting a less rushed push from WASP. They've still got 3 minutes, they've still got enough time to get a couple of Ubers in. Mezzo coming in with the stab onto Morg though, going to give Cloudy those sight lines and take a bit of pressure off him. And now it's really up to WASP how they take this forward now. Open squad's still looking fairly comfortable, and I mean, if I was them, I would stop pushing this left side. They can't take control of it that well, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think, Domaytoe? Do you think they should try up a different strategy?
I just want to say to Imba that he is the man currently, because he's doing the right thing. This is what I want to put out. Like, Mezzo kills Morg again, but I don't need to call this, because he did this like for 30 times at least now this game, so whatever. Imba though gets caught out there, so the card actually rolls back now. He has the right intention. Oh no, he actually survived, but he has the right intention, but Strono knows this. To go back on your point, I would say it's not really about where to push from, as Strono actually gets sniped from the card, so Imba like saying to Morg, kinda snipe this pyro from the card there currently. Anyway, it's really about pressuring both sides, as we said. Light Claws onto Poker and gets a lot of damage, and he actually kills Poker because he nicked him before, so that's an opening. And I completely missed an Uber exchange there, but it doesn't really matter, because what I said is that you need to have, I don't know, like stuff from both flanks coming in, but they kind of didn't. I mean, they kind of did, lost the M fight. That's the important one. So what happened in the Uber exchange, I completely missed that. But in the end, it's still Catman and Enya in from top left, but they probably can't make anything work.
No, I think Catman's maybe getting a little bit too ahead of himself here, and he's going to go down. Enya going to get minigun down, sorry, by Poker there, getting 3 kills in the process as well. Morg as well getting stabbed off then. No ability of a repush here. 1 minute 25 left. We might be seeing a repeat though of the last rounds. They were in a similar position before with about a minute or so left, and they were just, Imba just getting that lucky cap there, so we'll be able to see if he can recreate what he did before. Okay, sorry, maybe not quite luck. Skill, of course, skill. Forgot I'm speaking to a spy main, hardened veteran spy main. But if he can recreate that skilled play, then you know, fair play to him. But at the same time, I think they're much more worried that they're going to have Strono on playing on that cart area, and Enya is going to be trying the crits out to see if they can try anything up in the last 45 seconds now to make it. Yeah,
big pick there onto Cloudy. If they make this work, like, they have to make it work right now. The crits really needs to shine. Morg goes down again to Mather, but whatever is that. Currently the gun gets spammed good before crits, really important, and they actually get Sickers down, and Lightclaw is kind of they used to Uber on the card, which is a good thing to do, but the brain problem is that they all drop down. I mean, the engineer kind of clopped them down, but it's really important now to see Imba is there, but they kind of. Oh no, DQZ. Wiethoofd though. Wiethoofd gets the pipe. No, there's a spy there. Kill the spy.
Morg?
No, it will not work out. This was... Oh no, I wanted to... I have already prepared my message onto WhatsApp to say, no CeeJaey, your prediction lost because it's a best of 3, but in the end, Open Squad actually won and WASP lost, and this was one of the most intense matches of this year, definitely, that I have seen. 2018 jokes. But, because this is probably the first Highlander game I've seen, but... to be quite fair, chando, you know what this all boiled down to? The kind of the spam classes surviving there, but DKZ got headshot, close range, Wiethoofd pulled a lot, but the spawns were just too quick in, and therefore WASP actually go down with, Open Squad go down with 2-1. Very intense game. Way too long, I was not prepared for this.
Absolutely, I mean any Borneo match that goes on to 3 rounds is going to take its time for sure. Well, probably the biggest payload map in the rotation, maybe ever. Maybe Swiftwater might be the other one, but in terms of times, I'd say this one actually sometimes takes slightly longer. And yeah, especially when you go to best of 3s, it is long, tedious. Well, for the players, it's fun to watch, but I imagine for the players you can get a little bit fatigued. And you know, but we are going to be able to go into the logs. Now they should be up on your screens very shortly. I'm looking at them now, and I mean, Domaytoe, if you've got them up, anything standing out for you?
First time I actually wanted to see combined logs because I want to see how much Enya got frags on a spy and how much Morg got killed by Mezzo in total. But
well, look at those. Look at Mezzo's frags though.
18 just in one round, in one game. chando.
Well, from Mezzo, he got
from Mezzo onto Morg,
44 frags in total though. 44 frags. That, and then the next person coming in, Lightclaw, on 31. I mean, that's still impressive. And Wiethoofd as well with 520 DPM and 30 to 22. But Mezzo, what a champ! I mean, coming in 44 to 38. I haven't seen frags like that probably since Toast. So he's well on his way to becoming one of the best spies in my opinion. I've always seen him as sort of that rising star, and he's just getting better and better. So fair play to him. And yeah, I mean, Domaytoe, like, do you have any other logs you think stand out?
Not logs, but I have a very, very special person standing out for me, which will now take the microphone from my very sore voice, which I will be joining later on, because now, I mean, logs, only the combined logs are important, and we don't have these chando. In general, I would say it was, like, this was so intense. These teams are very equal. It will be very interesting to see how Open Squad play the rest of the matches tonight, and how this will actually play out in the season than in the next ETF2L season. But I am now overtaken by a clearly superior caster who has kind of to shake off the rust, so there we go. I will see you later on.
Thank you very much, Domaytoe. So we should be seeing Domaytoe a little bit later for the last round. But for the second round, it gives me a pleasure to introduce everyone